Welcome to Cell Structure and Function, Lesson 3, Part 2. Essential question: what are the different parts that make up a cell? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to compare the structure and function of cell parts in plant and animal cells. We will begin by examining endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex. Let's take a moment to understand the endoplasmic reticulum's home, the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a protoplasm. It's kind of like jelly. It has a lot of water, and it's inside the cell membrane and outside of the nucleus. Cytoplasm gives the cell shape. It keeps the organelles where they belong. It's the place where important things happen. It's where you find a lot of... So in the cytoplasm is a system of membranes near the nucleus called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER. Endoplasmic reticulum assists in the production, processing, and transport of proteins, and in the production of lipids. The ER is either smooth or rough. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to its membrane, while smooth ER does not. Remember from our last lesson that ribosome is the organelle that makes protein, and protein is the thing that controls most chemical reactions of cells. So the ribosomes that are on the rough ER make many of the cell's proteins. Some of these proteins move through the ER to different places in the cell. The smooth ER makes lipids and breaks down toxic materials that could damage the cell. Compare, how does rough ER differ from smooth ER in structure and function? Let's look at the Golgi complex. The membrane-bound organelle that packages and distributes materials, such as proteins, is called the Golgi complex. It's named after Camillo Golgi, the Italian scientist who first identified this organelle. The Golgi complex is a system of flattened membrane sacs. Lipids and proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum are delivered to the Golgi complex, where they may be modified to do different jobs. After the Golgi complex has worked its magic on the lipids and proteins that were delivered to it, the final products are enclosed in a piece of the Golgi complex's membrane. This membrane pinches off to form a small bubble or vesicle. The vesicle transports its contents to other parts of the cell or out of the cell. You might think of the Golgi complex as something similar to a post office. In summary, the Golgi apparatus is a membrane-bound organelle found in eukaryotics, and it preps fats, which are lipids, and protein molecules, and it delivers them for use either inside the cell. And now we know 4 organelles that can be found in both plant and animal cells: mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi complex. And of course the nucleus, which contains genetic material. We also know that the mitochondria are powerhouses of the cell that release energy. Ribosomes are the structures that make proteins. Good old Golgi complex, the organelle that packages and distributes proteins, and endoplasmic reticulum, ER, Smooth ER makes lipids and breaks down toxic materials, and rough ER transports proteins. Okay, plant versus animals. Plant and animal cells are different because they need different things. What are some ways that plants and animals are different that might explain some of their cellular characteristics? That was exciting. What additional parts are found in plant cells? Think about some ways that plants are different from animals. Plants don't move around, and some have flowers. Plant cells do have a cell membrane, cytoskeletons, nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, ER, and a Golgi complex, just like animal cells do. In addition, plant cells have a cell wall, large central vacuole, and chloroplasts. In addition to the cell membrane, plant cells have a cell wall. The cell wall is a rigid structure that surrounds the cell membrane. This membrane is identified by the yellow line around the plant cell in this photo. Cell walls provide support and protection to the cell. Plants don't have a skeleton like many animals do. Instead, they get their shape from the cell wall. The cells of fungi, archaea, bacteria, and some protists also have cell walls. Okay, what's a large central vacuole? A vacuole is a fluid-filled vesicle found in the cells of most animals, plants, and fungi. A vacuole may contain enzymes, nutrients, water, or wastes. Plant cells also have a large central vacuole that stores water. A central vacuole full of water helps support the cell. Plants may wilt when their central vacuole loses water. Compare. How do large central vacuoles differ from vacuoles? Chloroplasts. Animals must eat food to provide their cells with energy. However, plants and some protists can make their own food using photosynthesis. These organisms have chloroplasts, organelles where photosynthesis occurs. Photosynthesis is the process by which cells use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to make sugar and oxygen. Important fact, chloroplasts are green because they contain a green pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs the energy in sunlight. The energy is used to make sugar, which is then used by the mitochondria to make ATP. Chloroplasts have two outer membranes. Your turn. Visualize it. Identify. Label the cell parts on the plant cells shown here. Hey, I'm going to take Khaleesi for a walk. See you next time, everyone.